Well, hello, my friend. My name is Joe Bakhmutsky. I'm the founder of Power to Be Happy and also the author of Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in the challenging world of today. And listen, and we all walk through our lives with regrets, don't we? We all have these things that we end up blaming ourselves for, the things that we could have done differently, the things that we should have maybe done differently, right? But we also end up carrying this forward, and it becomes this really heavy baggage for us to deal with. And no one is exempt from having regrets. But where we want to make a difference is we want to kind of break that connection between having regrets and things that we're not necessarily proud of, and self-blame. That must be the connection we want to really cut. We want to get rid of that. I know for me, one story that always comes to mind was my first ever relationship, which lasted 6 years. And I hate to admit it. That from very early on, I knew that this wasn't right for me, because this woman that I fell in love with, she cheated on me, and I knew that I couldn't trust her, and I knew that this couldn't work because this wasn't right for me, and I wasn't prepared to forgive her. And so I was kind of torturing myself through all of these years and trying to put it aside, and it didn't work. And she ended up leaving me anyway for another man. So it's just, I had all of these years of struggle, of tormenting myself, and it was all for nothing. And for years, I looked back on it and I said that this is your fault, Joe. It's your fault. You could have handled it differently. You could have stopped it from early on. And I know the truth is, what all those things that I told myself, that I'm in love with her, the real truth is, deep inside, I know that I was just afraid. Man, I was just afraid of being alone. That's the real truth. I was just afraid of being alone, and I was afraid to admit it even to myself. But you know what is also true about that situation, and about all of the times that we have regrets and we end up blaming ourselves for? The truth about that is, it's in the past, and whatever happened, this situation is not connected to you. It's a situation that has happened, that has taken place, and that is beyond good and evil. It's beyond that. It's beyond good and evil, just like gravity, like breathing, like the fact that we exist, we have to breathe, right? Or like all of these universal laws that we have to abide, that we live by. We may not like the fact that we can't fly, or that we can't breathe underwater. All of these things, might be great, but that's not how things are. And I think that is true to the things that happen in our lives, that have happened, and they're just the facts that have taken place. Just as we accept history, we don't have to like it, but these historical events, they have taken place, and they are in the past, and it's crucial that we learn to accept the past as universal laws that we live by, but also to acknowledge that the past is the past, but from now on we live in today and we look towards the future. And that means that from now on, whatever's happened, just like in science, just like with these universal laws, it's a part of fundamental knowledge. It's a part of where we're at. And what really matters from now on is that we can look at life today and into the future as kind of discovery and innovation. just as we discover new treatments, just as we find, new, discover new galaxies, in the world, that's how we want to be able to look at life, accepting this kind of everything that's happened, this body of knowledge that has given you, yeah, the tough times, that has given you the traumatic events, but it's also given you good times, and it's also made you the person that you are today. And that's something to be proud of, because no matter of all the challenges that you have had, you're here. You're here, you made it. No matter what, you are here and you're living your best life. And you want to do good in the world in your own way. And you want to be happy. And that is worth celebrating, and that is worth cherishing for. I'm here for you, because I know how tough that can be. And that's why it's so important to accept the past as something that's happened, as universal laws. And now you're going to discover something that's going to be monumental for you. You're going to open new ways of looking at things. And I think that's a great way to look at life, as kind of discovery and innovation and finding new things. They don't have to be innovation on global scale, but they're innovation on your world. And you're finding and discovering new things about how you interact with people, and how you live a purposeful life, and how you are going to be happy. That's what's going to make a difference. And when we accept that mind view of universal laws and past being beyond good and evil, when we start to consider that life from this moment on is effectively discovery, is all about discovery, and is all about innovation and finding new ways of doing things, then it's also then goes along to say that all of our beliefs, all of our opinions, all of our ideas, they really must be tested in real life. That is what's going to be absolute key, that everything we do in life is a test, and it must be looked at that way. And that is, I think, is such a huge relief. I think that is so just beautiful. It's beautiful because you no longer have to guess or wonder, is it right, is it wrong? You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to look at what worked well in the past or didn't happen, or all those things that have taken place. You look at everything that you do in life, whether that's in relationship, whether that's in your work, whether that's with your friends, whether that's with your kind of your goals and the dreams and the ambitions that you might have. Well, look at it as a test. And that takes away the pressure. That takes away the pressure to be a certain way, or do certain things, or get certain results, because it's all about a test. You don't need to put pressure to get a particular result at a particular time. You can do your best to come up with an idea, or try something out, or do something with whether that's with your loved one or with a friend, or go try and meet someone new, whatever the way that is for you. But you can go look at it as an experiment. You are making an experiment to see if it works, and if it works, great, awesome, and if it doesn't, well, that's okay. You can try something else, right? So you can look at this and say, well, what can I try in this situation? What can I try or do differently that will take me forward? And that's when you can put something into play, even if it's something small, even if it's just one step that you can do, whether that's in your work, whether that's with people around you, whatever that is, trying and seeing if it works. And then adjusting from that point onwards. See, this way, when you look at things as experiments, you no longer are attaching blame to the things that you do, right? Because you look at everything as having that potential that it might not work out. You're doing your best to approach this in the best possible way, whether this is a relationship with your child, whether this is a meeting, trying to meet a new friend, whether that's in your career, whatever the case might be. If it works, fantastic, you can take the next step forward. And if it fails, well, it was a test. So what can you try next? I think that is a really fantastic pathway towards leading a regret-free life. I hope this has served you. My name is Joe Bakhmutsky. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.